because the only thing Kirk Cousins is good for is garbage stats. High value completions and yards, but not a lot of touchdowns.
And not high-level wins.
I think it's a touchdown because people want to see offense, and that's where the league's going. But on the same topic, I'm glad that defense are starting to show up at the end of the season, and I think a defensive team is going to win the Super Bowl.
I mean, pretty much most of the teams that are left have good defenses.
Yep.
Like, what's the worst defense left right now?
Chiefs.
Yeah, by far.
Bears might have the best one. Then the Saints.
All right, and the last one I wanted to bring up. So the Rams, they're already locked in. They're playing for home field. The Seahawks are already locked in. They're really not playing for anything. They're not going to get a bye. And even the Chargers are pretty much locked in, and they're probably not going to get a bye. All three of those teams have said they're not going to rest their starters. They're going to play their starters. Is that a touchdown or is that a turnover?
Touchdown. You got to get the best record possible. Then you can rest in the playoffs.
Rest in the playoffs?
I mean, well, if you're the number one seed, you get a bye week.
Yeah, but the only one that's really going to get that is probably the Rams.
And the Rams need that.
And they're playing the 49ers this week.
So if the Seahawks lost to the Niners. You never know what might happen.
It's a divisional game.
If the Saints end up with a better record than the Rams, guess who doesn't get home field advantage?
No, I think the Rams already locked it up.
Yeah, because they have the tiebreaker. The Saints have the tiebreaker on the Rams, so it doesn't even matter.
Yeah,
it's gonna be they're 1 and 2.
Record, yeah. All right, but still, I think you don't want to go in with a loss if you play with a bunch of backups.
I mean, they did it last year.
Yeah, and you get the
bye.
bye.
They did the preseason.
I think it's a touchdown for the Rams.
They're stuck in the 2.
I don't know about the Chargers because they still have a chance to win the division.
Yeah.
So, well, I guess it is a touchdown for the Chargers if they're going to play their starters. Because if the Chiefs fumble up and lose and the Chargers win, then they jump from wild card to the second seed and they get the first round bye. So
yeah, and Chiefs don't want to go on the road to the Chargers because that's going to be an embarrassing playoff game.
I think it's a touchdown because in the case of the Seahawks, they're a team that plays off of like synergy and momentum.
Yeah.
And so you need that regardless of who you're playing. You need to keep that going, right? Because they started off slow and they kind of built that up. In the case of the Rams, I mean, before playing the Cardinals and essentially smacking them and getting right, they didn't look like a Super Bowl contender for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So starting your guys, helps you stay in that lane. And then in the case of the Chargers, well, they're the Chargers, and we all know they collapse. So them sitting their starters would only put them closer to being exactly who we think they are.
I hate to backpedal on this, but I think
they thought they were.
I think the Chargers are different this year. Derwin James back there is an enforcer.
But as long as they have Felipe Rios.
I want to think that.
Who the hell is Felipe Rios? Bro, who the fuck are you talking about?
Phillip Rivers.
I'm mad that you said
Shout out to the Hispanics listening.
Shout out to the Hispanics, man.
I'm mad that you really dug deep on that because I know your ass never speaks Spanish. Like I'm more Mexican than you like 90% of the week. And now you want to throw in a Felipe Rios.
Yeah, I mean, I want to believe that they're a different Chargers team, but it's hard, man.
As long as they have Phillip Rivers who can throw a pick every time it's a meaningful, crucial, last-minute drive.
Wow.
And even Melvin Gordon has, his history of fumbling, and he's been hurt.
Wow.
And then, yeah, I mean, you got a bunch of gamblers on defense.
Wow.
The Chargers are who they are. I mean, they're a great team, but I could easily see them getting bounced on Saturday night.
Wow.
The divisional round. I could actually see both LA teams doing that. If we're being real.
First off,
my brother would be pissed.
You're not going to say something that disrespectful after buying me a brand new Rams beanie. A beautiful Rams beanie for Christmas. You're not going to say that to my face.
It even has all the Super Bowl logos on it, so it looks like you've been on the wagon for a minute.
First off, I can name most of the stats and most of the players on all those old Rams teams after they won the Super Bowl and were trash.
All right, man. So
what you know about Trump candidate? What you know about Dane Licker when he was a safety?
Hakeem.
Azir Hakeem, Ricky Prohl, I think Randy McDonald was a Ram at one point. Brandon Malamaliuna. All five.
Brandon Malamaliuna.
He went to Arizona. He was literally like 300 pounds, like a damn left tackle.
All right, so let's get to the rants.
Don't make me Tommy Polly. What you know about Rams players?
Woo, you're up first.
Tommy Polly actually.
Yeah, so pretty much you know how it goes, man. Say whatever you got to say to the people. Get what you got to get off your chest. Anything you didn't get to say. Any words of wisdom or inspiration you want to leave the people with. The floor is yours.
I just want to lead this in for you. Fuck Vontaze Burfict. And everyone who loves him. As Lil Wayne once said about Pusha T, fuck Vontaze Burfict and everyone who loves him.
No, I know it's the end of the show, but I just want to say real quick, because I've been kind of thinking about it like I did last time. This podcast is like NFL Live at a barbecue that, what's his name? Teddy, the dude from the Patriots?
Teddy Bruschi the snitch?
Yeah, Bruschi didn't get invited to. That's what this podcast is like. NFL Live without Teddy Bruschi at a barbecue.
At Richard Seymour's house?
Yeah. That might have been the best one ever.
We're going to have you come back every third week. And
tell us what this podcast is like.
Put it on business cards.
I low-key be thinking about, like, okay, what's this podcast like?
Is who our marketing director? Is he our pitch guy?
Our CMO?
All right. Well, just because New Year's is next week, I want to talk about setting goals and, New Year's resolutions and all that. So, what makes goals great? Like, what kind of goals should you be setting? In my opinion, it should be something that's measurable, something that's realistic, and something that you can check in regularly on your progress. So with that in mind, when you're coming up with your New Year's resolutions, I think it's a good idea to write them down. That way you can go back and look at them and you don't forget. So I think a lot of times we set goals and, a month, 3 months later, we kind of forget what we're doing, why we're doing it, so writing down not just what your resolution is, but why you set that resolution is a really big deal. So you can go back, stay motivated. And just to put it out there, I'm going to say my New Year's resolutions real quick. A couple of them are generic, but, they're mine. So first one is I want to lose some weight and I want to keep it off. Because last year I lost about 30 pounds and then I gained it all back in the last 2 months. Shout out to not having a job, but, the next one is to save money. I'm trying to move out, trying to, do adult things. So I got a set amount, but I'm not going to put that in the air. I'm trying to save money. So those two are pretty generic. Most people have those. The next one is to get a paid photography job. I did some free work for some close friends of mine. Shout out to Jason and Bree. Appreciate you guys letting me take some pictures, putting them on social media and all that. It was a lot of fun. Check out my photography page at TOAT_photography. And then my personal page, TOAT_woo. Appreciate it. The next one is to start substitute teaching. This year, I passed my CBEST. Still working on the degree, but I can start substitute, so I'm going to start applying for that. It's been a goal of mine for a couple of years now, finally getting stuff done. And then the last one is to land a sales training job. I left my retail job, and it's given me a lot of opportunity to reflect on what I really want to do. I'm also graduating next year, so super proud of that. But yeah, man, just... with New Year's coming up next week, write your goals down. Write why you want those goals to be completed and how you're going to do it. And hope everybody had a great Christmas and Happy New Year, man. Thank you.
Good shit, man. That was dope. You want to go first?
You, sir, are a scholar and a gentleman.
You want to go next, or you want me to go, KV?
I mean, mine's going to be kind of emotional and sappy, really uplifting. So I guess you can just come in afterwards and just shit all over it.
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah. All right. So I went to Oakland. to visit my grandmother, and it's been about 2-3 years. It feels like. Yes, about 3 years since my little sister graduated from high school, and I've just always been working, so I've never had a chance to actually go back to Oakland, like Alameda, and really kick it with my family, my grandma, two my aunts, my uncle. And like this trip, even though it was only like 6 days, it felt like forever, but it went by so quick. Like I look up, I remember hopping on Megabus, going out there, getting out there. Like the first 3 days went by like it was nothing. You know, met up with cousins that I honestly have only met like twice in my life. Cousins twice removed. Shout out to Nikki. Shout out to Sheba when I'm out there. She's my first cousin. We will meet up again. Don't worry about it. Shout out to Bruce. Doing his thing. Former basketball player. Shout out to him. And I really got a sense of purpose, sense of atonement. Because I felt like I went to go visit my grandfather's grave with my uncle. And I didn't know that he hadn't been there since the funeral, which was about 22 years ago. So I didn't even know that was his first time going back to see his father, my granddad. And it's like, I could tell he got closure. And me, I've just been working so much and planning so much and stressing so much that I kind of didn't know what I would say or how I'd feel seeing his grave. Kind of felt like I've been chasing the dead man's legacy, kind of wanting to be like him and trying to do things that I feel like he would approve of and respect. When I saw his grave, like I did the same thing I did when I was a kid and I was at his funeral. I just laughed hysterically for some reason. But it came from like a good, healthy place. Like I just felt like whatever stress I had, it felt silly that I even had it. Like my granddad always was able to make me laugh. And he always, like I always felt like, you know what? Internally, I'm doing right by him. I just have to keep going, keep working. My path really isn't, I wouldn't say, let's say my path is beaten. It's beaten. I've beaten the shit out of it. Let's just say there's nothing normal about it. But I am thankful. I got to stomp through my old hometown. If even for a little bit. I saw parts that were mad gentrified. I didn't go to the hoodest parts because, you know, obvious reasons. But being around my cousins, seeing my grandfather's grave, talking with my grandma, her telling me about her life, listening to things. And then one of the best parts was like the last day I was there. There's a spot, Nations, in the Bay Area, Northern California, by the way. If you ever go to Nations, it's the best burger spot in the state of California. I'd argue it's the best burger spot in America. It makes In-N-Out look like shit. It makes In-N-Out look like Subway on a hot summer's day with dog shit over it. Like, when I tell you I got a double bacon cheeseburger and that shit was $8, just the burger. And then you get a big-ass slice of pie with it, dog. Next time we all go to the Bay Area, we're all going to Nations in San Leandro. But yeah, like just certain things when I was down there, like I was having childhood memories flood back to me that I didn't even know I remembered. And it was really deep, it was really emotional and powerful for me. So when I came back, I really had no regrets. I mean, it's like I really reconnected with home. And I think I needed that because it gave me some atonement and it felt like I don't have to feel bad for not always going home. Like, there's a saying in Ultra High Beam that Kirk Franklin said, no matter how far you go, I'm paraphrasing, but no matter how far you go, you can always come back home no matter how far you go. And that just meant a lot for me, and it really empowered me to want to be an even better man. And now that I feel like, you know what, I'm not creating a legacy that's akin to my grandfather. I'm really just extending my own which is what he always wanted, which is what my grandma